Stories of mystical sea creatures are common in coastal towns. But in the capital city of the first state, there really is a legendary cement monster that lurks on the high banks of Dover. The final race of the year is here. One final opportunity for drivers like rookie sensation Chase Purdy to find their way to victory lane. But who will win the title? Harrison Burton and Todd Gilliland are separated by just 8 points. One will be crowned champ when the checkers fly. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dover International Speedway in Dover, Delaware. It's the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation 125. The season finale for the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East Championship. I'm Ralph Shaheen alongside Parker Kligerman and Derek Perniciglio, who'll be joining us soon. Temperature's beautiful here today, Parker, as we show you where Dover is located at. We've got two fantastic drivers who are very evenly matched. What's going to make the difference here today?
Well, Ralph, you said it. They are very evenly matched, and they're very evenly matched in the speed category. Therefore, I think what today is going to come down to is who executes this race better, meaning who takes care of their tires and does not make mistakes on the racetrack.
Well, there you see it is. Just 8 points between the two. Do you give an edge to either one, Parker?
I really can't, Ralph. I think these two are just so evenly matched. It is going to be an intense and very close battle down to the wire.
Let's meet our pole sitter with Derek.
Ralph, Colin Cabry won this race in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series back in 2015. So what does the team do? They brought the same car this weekend, and they put it on the pole, and the car was fast today. Is it just as fast today as it was back then in 2015?
Yeah, I think so. Last year we were battling a little bit of tightness all day. I think we got it out of that for this weekend, and I think it is just as fast. I don't see where we should have an issue at all. The balance is really well, and I don't see why not.
This is one of the fastest tracks the series races on all year. What is the biggest issue that you have to keep in mind throughout the entire race?
Obviously, keep track of tires, and when you come in at the break, and definitely have the crew chief take a look at them and make sure they're not blistered or wearing or anything like that. And also the air, the clean air is the best air. So you want to keep your nose out front, and it's hard to pass. So you need to be up front, and that's what we've been doing here today.
Colin Cabry is going to bring the field to the green today, and hopefully he'll have the same luck picking up win number 2, the same place he picked up win number 1.
Well, we talked about how evenly matched our top 2 title contenders are when it comes to victories this year. They each have 4. Gilliland has 10 top 5s. Harrison Burton has 11. Quite a season it has been for the two. K&N Pro Series Racing and NBCSN is brought to you by K&N High Flow Air Filters and Air Intake Systems, because everyone loves that fast car smell. NBCSN has been a part of the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East Championship all season long, following the title fight right down to the end here in Dover, Delaware. And of course, those two title combatants, Derek, are the ones we should be watching today.
Ralph, Parker, we're here at Dover for the finale for the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East. It all comes down to this day. Just 8 points separate Todd Gilliland from Harrison Burton. If either driver wins, they win the championship. But if Harrison Burton wins this afternoon and ties with Todd Gilliland in the points, he'll win the title based on wins. 5 wins to 4 wins for Harrison Burton. But if they tie for the championship, Todd Gilliland wins, then they'll have to go to second place finishes. And Todd Gilliland has the advantage over Harrison Burton with more second place finishes. He has 4, Harrison Burton has none.
Well, this racetrack here in Dover is one of the more unique ones on the tour, don't you think, Parker?
Well, it's one of the most intense. As a driver, as you fly off into turn 1, you're going to drop almost 4 stories into the banking. And when the car loads up the banking, you have to be back in the throttle before you ever see the exit. So it's one of those places that is just a very intense ride. It's one of the few racetracks that you could almost describe as a roller coaster, because you're just constantly undulating and moving around, and the car is always on edge.
Let's take a look at our starting lineup for this afternoon's event here. Two title contenders will start right alongside each other in row 2, but they're not the only ones that could steal a win here today.
No, you've got Ronnie Bassett Jr. in the 04. Behind him on row 4, also the 42, Jay Beasley could sneak up there and get a good run. He's had a couple good runs this season.
And we talked about the young rookie sensation, Chase Purdy, and Riley Herbst is always a contender when he's behind the wheel of the 41. Not a huge field here today, but a quality one ready to go racing here in Dover. Keeping an eye on row number 2 here. That's where the championship will come from, one way or the other. Coming off of 4, looking for the green flag to get the season finale underway. Here we go.
Wow, a bad start by Todd Gilliland there, Ralph. Harrison Burton able to take advantage from the bottom side and get a big runoff, but now look at Todd Gilliland into turn 1, going around the outside, all the way up for second place.
Down over into turn number 3, and Gilliland working that high side, taking it even higher as he tries to get around Ruben Garcia to lay claim to second, and Burton thinking about following the long, tucks back down to the bottom side as they dip down into 1, and that's literally what you do. You drop down the hill. It's hard to see that, Parker, on the television screen, but when you're in a car going around, it is an amazing sensation as you drop down into 1.
It really is. Your heart will go into your throat at times. In a qualifying lap here, I've had to remind myself to breathe inside the race car because it's so intense. And now you see our 2 title contenders battling for 3rd place right here, running slightly different lines. And as you see the 04 there, Ronnie Bassett Jr. run the outside. That's something you don't want to do too early in this race. You don't want to be forced out of the rubber into that lighter gray on the concrete because that's really going to abuse the tires. And we've actually heard of a little bit of...
Oh, boy, there's contact there. That's Beasley in the 42 coming together with Tyler Dipple in the 30. A lot of these race cars looking pretty loose early on in the run here.
Well, that's one thing you got to note about these cars. Compared to the higher series, the Truck Xfinity or Cup, they run bias ply tires. And so on this racetrack, they get very sideways. A lot of yaw in that race car. That's where it wants to be. That's where the car is fastest. So it may look a little wild, but it's actually completely normal.
So says a guy that does this for a living on occasion. Sheldon Creed in the 40 out of Alpine, California, has his United Rentals Toyota running along pretty good here, inching towards the top 5.
We've definitely seen them try to use both grooves here. I think we'll continue to see that bottom groove be the predominant line, but, you know, being able to work that outside as the rubber gets laid down the bottom groove will be important if you want to be able to make headway late in the run.
Derek, what's the strategy for today's event?
Ralph, this race is 125 laps today, and there is a halfway break. So a lot of the teams listening to them on the radio said that they're going to field the race cars out the first half, come in, make the adjustments they need, and race for the second half.
Racing right now for 7th is Beasley and Dipple. Dipple's in that black 30. Tie car back 4. And sniffing around, coming to the bottom here is Chase Cabry.
Yeah, we'll be interested to see if Tyler Dipple's able to even hold on the outside. We haven't seen the outside lane be faster yet. It seems like the bottom lane is predominant. But what Derek said there is key. You know, these guys want to feel out their race cars and then try to make those adjustments at the halfway break. But you also,
man.
Wow, you don't want to do that. Don't touch that apron.
No, Cabry got the Honda Generators number 4 down below onto that apron, and boy, that can get the car to step out in a hurry.
Yeah, there's just a huge difference between the banking level on the racetrack and that apron, and it really unsettles the race car. It actually de-wedges the race car when you do. So you definitely you don't want to go that low. You want to be on the bottom lane, but not in that black stuff. Stay on the gray part.
Eddie McDonald creeping into the picture in the 71 to maybe challenge these two in front of him. Driver out of Rowley, Massachusetts.
And Ralph, one key thing here I've been trying to get in for a while is that, you know, these guys need to protect those tires. There were some concerns after practice of some excess tire wear on some of these teams in their cars, so they will really want to be able to take care of those tires here early in the run, because this is a track that is historically known for sometimes having tire issues, as these cars get really try to almost abuse the tires really hard at the beginning of the run.
Well, it's been tough to say just about anything. We're only 11 laps in, but boy, these guys have provided a lot of action already, haven't they?
They really have. They've been all over the place trying to make it happen. It's the last race of the season. A lot of motivation out there to end the season on a high note, and I think we're seeing that right from the start.
Good battle here with these two. If you can dive down off the hill coming off a 4 and get to the bottom, caution out. And it's for the 17 car of Chase Purdy, the rookie.
Yeah, it seems like a hard hit in the outside wall there. It looks like the right front is down. Not sure if that happened before or after hitting the wall.
The Bama Buggy 17, and he's really had a good season. Chase is third in the championship. He hasn't won anything yet, but 5 top 5s, and they were all second-place efforts.
It's a little late to be able to see what happened here, but early in the corner, almost about just before mid-corner, at mid-corner, was up in the wall. That to me could definitely be a right front tire issue that got him in the wall.
That's what you would think, right? Or he got way high and it just slid all the way up to the wall. Either way, he is done for the day. We'll come right back to Dover. Stay with us. See how David Gilliland's kid does. Back here at Dover after the first caution of the day in the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation 125 from the Monster Mile. The Monster's already eaten up one car as we go back to green.
So at the beginning of the race, we had the 2 championship contenders on the second row, but we had Harrison Burton on the bottom. Todd Gilliland used the outside lane to get all the way into third, almost to second. And now Harrison's not able to make the good restart on the outside.
Well, if you're one of the 2 title contenders, right now you just want to keep the other guy in sight, right? Worry about, oh boy, look at this. Cabry and Garcia, with Garcia on the outside in the blue and yellow Sunoco car. And here comes Gilliland with Burton right behind him, and sneaking a nose in there is the 04 machine, which is really going to make a run at him, Ronnie Bassett.
Ronnie Bassett Jr. all the way laid up in the bumper of title contender Harrison Burton there off of turn 2. That was really tight.
Wait, Garcia's car wanted to step out coming off a 4. Well, these bias-blind tires, as you mentioned, are the reason why we're seeing so many of the rear ends of these cars so loose under the drivers. But, boy, it's fun to watch.
No doubt. It's great spectacle, and it really looks cool. It's fun for the drivers, but as I said, it's just where these race cars want to be. They want to be sideways like that. That's where the tire works best. They also have complained a little bit with these composite bodies that they're running this season at this racetrack, which is probably the fastest racetrack they go to all season. So the aero is the most involved here, that in traffic, these cars are just really loose as well. So those 2 things combined, having that bias ply tire and being in traffic with this body style, making them pretty loose, it's definitely showing up here on the racetrack, and it's been really interesting for us on the start and the restart, watching them try to race side by side.
Sheldon Creed in the 40 on the inside. Derek, he's holding a spot just inside the top 10 right now.
Ralph, this is only Sheldon Creed's 3rd start in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series this season, but he's made some pretty good finishes. He's gotten 1 top 5 finish and, of course, 1 top 10. He's been devoting a lot of his time this season to the ARCA Series, where he's got 8 top 10s, 5 top 5s, and he also picked up a pole to his credit. So he is used to driving these type of cars. He comes from an off-road truck racing background and actually won a championship in his respective series there. And kind of a little bit of a change going from off-road trucks to oval track racing on a concrete track, but he said, this place is pretty sweet. I love fast tracks, and he says he could have drove it harder in qualifying, but now he realizes how much harder you can drive here, and he's moving up slowly but surely.
Well, that's the way you do it, and we've seen a lot of drivers over the years have success in off-road racing and make their way into full-bodied stock cars or other forms of motorsport and have good success with it.
One comes to mind is that 7-time champion in the Cup Series, who also happens to be an 11-time winner here at the Monster Mile. Jimmy Johnson came out off-road trucks, had a pretty good transition to stock cars, wouldn't you say?
He's done just fine. Here's another up-and-coming driver.
Hi, I'm Chase Cabry, driver the number 4 in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East. I got my start in racing and go-karts when I was a really young age after we got done with motocross. And we progressed up into mini sprints and ran those for quite a bit of years, and then got my start in asphalt last year in the NASCAR All-American Wheeling Series out at Hickory Motor Speedway in the limited late model division. This year is my first year in the K&N E Series, and so far it's been good. Today we're starting 6th, and I'm excited to get going here. Some of my goals this season is just to be competitive week in and week out, and that's something that we're progressing forward to do. We've learned a lot out at South Boston, gathering the pole up and able to progress from there. And today, like I said, we've showed up pretty good, and I'm excited to just keep going. I'm Chase Cabry, and that's your NASCAR Next Gen profile.
Chase Cabry, 6th in the championship standings this year with 4 top 5s. Here's the 44 of Dylan Bassett. Inside the top 10 right now.
Running that lower line right now. We've kind of seen most of these cars string out a little bit. This is where they start to maybe try to click off laps and take care of those tires. You start to just see what you want inside that race car. What does it need to do better at the beginning of the run? What's it need to do better in this portion of the run? And as we get later in the run and towards the halfway break, what do you want it doing at the end of the run? That's what's important here for these drivers to be thinking about.
Where would you want your car to be good here at Dover, Parker?
Well, where do you see that 44 right there on the exit of the corners? If you want to make passes here, you need to be able to get good runs and get the power down off the corners.
Back to Derek.
Ralph Parker, we've been monitoring the drivers on the radio, and we've been listening to Harrison Burton, who runs right behind Todd Gilliland on the track and in the point standings right now. And he said to his crew chief, Marty Lindley, I can run him down, but as soon as I get in his wake, the car gets tight, which means he's getting an aero push out there.
Well, that's not unusual to have happen. So I think Harrison's experiencing what many drivers have talked about for years now, is that at these larger racetracks where aero is important, if you get too close to our car, the handling of your car is going to change. And that's something that is great experience for him to be learning here. That's why this series comes to Dover, is that it's a great place for young drivers to learn the effects of aero on their race cars. But the same token, he's going to have to figure out a way to make that car not have that happen, because that's what he's going to need to do to be able to pass at 16 and hopefully beat him and win this championship.
Two title combatants running nose to tail right now, the same way they are in the point standings.
And Ralph, the key here for him is, as well as, think about what he wants to change on that race car, is also to try and just move that line around a little bit. Try to get clean air on the front nose of that race car. Following the 16's tire tracks, as we've got a caution here.
Caution coming out for the second time, and it's Dylan Bassett.
Looks like he got in the outside wall here. A lot of damage on the right side. Once again, it looks like the right side tires are down, especially the right front. It will be interesting to see if maybe this is also a tire issue. And as I said, this place is historically very hard on the tires. Once again, early in the corner, almost before the halfway point, that he was up in the wall there, and a lot of times that can be indicative of a tire issue. So just key note for these title contenders, take care of those tires.
Second caution of the day. We'll have the restart after this. Field coming to the green once again here at Dover. The 1 mile concrete oval. The Monster Mile has racing once again.
Our two title contenders starting in the second row for the third time in this race, side by side. They can't get away from each other.
No, but Burton is going to get lost between a couple of cars, and Gilliland is going to get away from him. Whoa, hang on, goes Colin Cabry. High goes the number 2. Burton fighting to get around the outside, back to third, so he can try to reel in Gilliland.
Yeah, wow, Sheldon Creed got real close to the left rear of Harrison Burton there. Also just touching that apron a little bit, getting loose right there off of turn 2. Wow, these two are racing hard.
Well, that's got to be nerve-wracking if you're Harrison Burton, because you've got to clear the 40 and stay with Gilliland. He has got to match Gilliland step for step all the way to the end, and then hope he can make something happen there.
Yeah, he needs to keep him in sight, but look at this pack right here, 2 by 2 by 2 right now. Well, the 2 car might have a bit of an issue here, Ralph. He's really going backwards fast.
Well, the issue is he's hung on the outside, right? He has got to get down. That outside just not working for him. Derek, are you hearing anything as a problem on the 2?
Guys, it's a real tough break for Colin Cabry in that number 2 machine. The 2015 winner had one of his best shots to pick up another win here this afternoon, but unfortunately came over the radio and said to the crew, I think I have a tire going down, but it feels like it's leveled off. So I'm going to try to baby it until we can get to the halfway break.
Whoa, I would not be doing that one, Ralph. You know, considering that we've seen 2 other cars have tire issues in this race. If you're starting to feel a tire issue around this racetrack, there's not much you can do to baby it. The loads and the forces these race cars are under in this banking around this mile oval is just too immense to be able to baby that tire. And you see, I think I can see that the right front is struggling right now, and that's not a place you want to be right now, going around this racetrack.
Well, and not only that, but the speeds these guys are running, he's going to go a lap down pretty quick, so you might as well pit and get the fresh tire anyway.
Exactly. You know, it's one of those things where it's discretion's the better part of valor in this case.
That's right. Save the race car and yourself. Boy, Burton not able to break free of the 40. He has got a real fight on his hands for third, as Sheldon Creed is giving him all he can handle on the inside.
Sheldon Creed has been very impressive driving through this field. He wants to go forward. That race car is handling really well. He's been able to hook the bottom throughout this race, even getting a little bit of the apron there lap after lap, but able to make the pass on Harrison Burton and get himself into third.
Well, the one good thing that's happening with that is Creed is pulling Burton back up to where Gilliland is, because Gilliland seems to be losing touch with our race leader, Garcia.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Harrison is just taking care of that race car right now, knowing there's a halfway break coming, knowing that there has been some tire issues on the racetrack. You know, there's you can lose the battle here, but you're trying to win the war, and therefore I think right now he's being smart about it. I think Todd Gilliland's doing the same. I don't think either of these 2 are really pushing those race cars right now, knowing what's at stake.
Creed now has caught Gilliland. Todd slips up a little bit in that Napa Auto Parts number 16. And he might be handing over second place here.
Yeah, Sheldon Creed is really fast right now. Really pushing that race car. Wants to go up and lead this race. Seems to be the fastest car on the racetrack right now. But as I said, I'm not sure about that. I think, you know, there's definitely some trepidation of being able to push the race car that hard early in this race.
Well, Gilliland doing exactly what he needs to do. Stay in front of Harrison Burton.
And these 2 are just trying to keep each other in their sights, right? That's the thing you're going to do in a championship battle like this, is try to keep... Oh, whoa, the 16's got an issue in the wall.
And that could be the championship story here today. Todd Gilliland doing everything he needed to win this title, keeping Harrison Burton behind him, running what seemed to be a smart race, and the only thing I can think of is the right front let go on that one, the way it shot up to that concrete wall.
Exactly, Ralph. What a shame for Todd Gilliland, running a very smart race here, doing everything he needed to do to win this championship, and the right front gives up going down to turn 1. Hard hit into the outside wall. What a shame for Todd Gilliland.
Well, I say concrete wall. Actually, it's a safer barrier up there, but it still took a tremendous shot and is going to do enough damage to that race car that even with repairs, he's not going to be able to run down Harrison Burton. That could be the title story here today, and it could all come down to that right front tire.
No doubt. There's Todd out of the race car. Understandably frustrated.
And Harrison Burton coming in at the halfway break, and you know they'll be looking at his tires as well. Well, a massive shift in the storyline of the 2017 NASCAR K&N Pro Series East Championship. Coming into the day, Todd Gilliland and Harrison Burton just separated by 8 points, chasing each other on the racetrack. Tires have been a problem today. Numerous drivers have had issues with it. So did Todd Gilliland. It sent him right to the wall, and he is now with Derek.
Ralph Parker, we're down here right outside the infield care center with Todd Gilliland, who's obviously dejected, got into the wall out there. And tell us what happened.
Yeah, I just blew a right front tire running, I guess we're third. We just got passed by the 40, and man, this season, it's been great. I've learned a ton. It's what it's all about, is for my future, but man, we really wanted this one. Felt like we should have won it. All year we've had the fastest cars, no doubt. So it's something to be proud of for everyone at Bill McNally Racing, Napa Auto Parts, Toyota. I got to thank them for everything they've done for, all of these K&N races over the last 2 years. And, we have another race tomorrow, and the K&N West, and then 3 more out there to finish off that championship. So hopefully we can get that one. But, nonetheless, it's still been a great year on the East Coast.
Disappointing day for sure, but is it at least satisfying to know that what it was something that was out of your control that took you out of it?
Yeah, we were pretty tight right there. I probably should have. I don't really know. Yeah, it is even worse to say that than anything else. So, like I said, just can't thank Napa, Toyota, TRD, the guys that get us here. And, sorry to them we didn't get this championship, but, this one stings for sure.
He may have missed this championship, but he still has one more to fight for in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West.
He does, Derek, and mathematically, he's still not out of this one because of the small field here today. There's still enough points available with him coming in with an 8-point lead over Burton. And Harrison has to finish 4th or better, even with Gilliland out now, to take the title.
And that's a tough place for Harrison Burton to be. You got a great restart there, but, that's one thing that as a young driver, you're going to have to kind of do something that's unusual, which is play a little bit defense now. In this position, he needs to almost find a way to just not finish 4th or worse, right? And therefore, it's unusual for a driver because most of your career, you're focused on going forward and fighting for a win, and now he has kind of an ulterior motive.
Well, my thought is he's probably more worried about the tire than even who's running in 5th right now, because the tire could let go no matter what you're doing. It sure didn't look like Todd Gilliland was pushing the car as hard as he could, and it just let go, and there went his title.
No doubt. It's got to be a very, very stressful time for Harrison Burton's crew chief, Marty Lindley, and Harrison Burton inside that race car. The good thing for Harrison is that he's in that race car. He's focusing on driving it, but for his crew chief, Marty Lindley, down in the pits, this is definitely a stressful time.
Well, and what he has now is all he's going to get. He's got to make this work. As we watch Colin Cabry here in the 2. This group here battling just outside the top 5, 4th, 5th, 6th, all in that grouping.
Right, we saw Colin Cabry get off to a fast start, and then he had a tire issue, but seems to be recovering from that right now. It's a little loose at this time.
Riley Herbst is in the 41. Master Manufacturing back Toyota. Just in front of Tyler Dipple.
And in this half of the race, this is after you've made your adjustments, right? This is after you've been able to kind of talk to your crew chief and tell him what you want. And now you're starting to assess, did those adjustments work? Did the things you tell your crew chief to do that race car actually improve the race car or hurt it? And that's what these drivers are assessing right now.
Ruben Garcia has led the majority of the race. Derek, what are you hearing about Harrison Burton in the 12?
Harrison Burton runs in the 2nd spot right now, and he is closing in on his very first NASCAR K&N Pro Series championship. As long as he doesn't fall past the 4th position out there, he'll lock up the title. But when I talked to him earlier in the day today, he said he was a little bit stressed. He was thinking about the event, but he also said that we just need to go racing. Put all the talking aside, put the thinking aside for the championship, and just go out there and race and try to win today.
Well, as we mentioned, he has 4 victories already this season. And he really came out of the box strong at the beginning of the year, Parker.
Absolutely, and Derek is correct in that Harrison should be thinking that way. That's exactly the way you need to think when you go into a championship battle like he's in. You've got to just focus on the task at hand, focus on the race itself, on the battle, and hope that it works out to winning the war. And I think that's what, as a race car driver, you've got to do that, because that's what's got you here. That's what you've done all season, and you can't change what you're doing just because of the position you're in championship-wise. You've got to race the races as you have all season if you want to have the same performance.
As you've watched Harrison develop over the course of the season, what do you think has become his strength?
Well, I think it's one thing that's shown up this year that, we didn't quite see last year, was that he never really attacked the races, attacked the racetrack and such. And now this year you feel like when he gets in that race car, he's extracting everything out of it from the drop. And that's what we've seen so far.
Mom's extracting everything out of her nerves right now, too. Dover, the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation 125, the season finale for the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East Championship. Ralph Shaheen, Parker Kligerman, and Derek Perniciglio with you. We are under caution. Another tire issue. This time, Sheldon Creed, Parker.
What a shame. He had so much speed in that 40 car. But as we see in this race, the tires are at a premium.
Harrison Burton in the 12 has to be fourth or better to claim this championship today. His title rival, Todd Gilliland, suffering tire issues. He's out. As we go back to green.
Not a great start by Harrison Burton, but we've seen that outside lane struggle throughout this race to get restarted. Slots into second place, doing exactly what he needs to do, Ralph.
Let's get an update on the man who's been leading most of the day. That would be Ruben Garcia Jr., Derek.
Ruben Garcia is trying to win his very first NASCAR K&N Pro Series race. He's a former NASCAR Mexico Series champion who's been running for Rev Racing this entire year. He also ran for the team last season where he finished fifth. He says he likes racetracks like this because the tracks that he races on down in Mexico are concrete type surfaces. They're big, wide ovals, and they're high banked, and he's used to racing on this type of track, so he's used to how the car feels underneath him.
Here comes Harrison Burton inside of him. And there sits the 42 machine of Jay Beasley deeper in the field. And Burton gets his nose out in front.
Ruben's able to fight back on the high side, Ralph.
Yeah, he doesn't have to win here today, Parker. Are you surprised that he's maybe pushing that tire as much as he is as we're down to 15 to go?
I don't know. Getting clean air in that race car could be a big help in being able to control the pace of this race. If you've got the clean air and the most downforce, that can help protect the tires as well. Real great side-by-side.
Oh, man, is he fighting it. Wow, that's some hard racing there for the lead here at Dover.
This might be pushing a little too far, but he's got to clear Ruben Garcia here around this corner if he wants to be able to take that lead and get away.
Yeah, still not there yet. Garcia with plenty of speed on the outside.
And Garcia's doing what he needs to do to try to keep that lead. He's trying to keep the air off that right rear quarter panel of Harrison Burton, making Harrison Burton loose and allowing Ruben Garcia to use that outside lane's momentum to get back side by side.
Boy, I don't know, Parker. That is, to me, you're really working that tire. And what we've seen here today, that's pretty sketchy with this close to the end and a title right in front of you. I get it, but boy, it makes me nervous.
He might have got him there, Ralph.
He did. He got him. Good move. Okay, now you got to hope you can hang on.
Yeah, now it's about controlling the pace. You've got the lead. You've got the cleanest air on that race car. Just do what you need to do to keep the lead, but not by too much.
Harrison Burton starting to pull away. Maybe this was the best thing for him to get a win on this day in Dover. But how about back in the day, 2006, the NASCAR Cup Series in town in front of a packed crowd, and Jeff Gordon leading Ryan Newman in the field to the green. There goes Tony Stewart as we watch on board from Harrison's dad's car. That's Jeff Burton in the 31 getting inside of Matt Kenseth. And Jeff would go on to take his only win at the Monster Mile. His wife Kim would celebrate in the pits. That's Harrison's mom. The two of them would meet in Victory Lane to celebrate the day at Dover. Maybe they'll celebrate again today with an even bigger one. Harrison can hang on and win this championship. Boy, he's opened up a big gap now. Look at that.
Wow. I'm not sure about that one, but as we come to 2 to go, he seems confident inside that race car. He knows what it feels like. He knows what those tires feel like. Done everything he needed to do to get this championship. What an impressive drive by Harrison Burton.
I was really worried for him. I thought he was pushing that tire too hard. But, boy, I think you were right. Once he got out front, that car is running so much better. Two laps remaining here.
It really has, and, you know, that's the thing. He and Marty Lindley going into this race had told me that they knew there were some tire issues. Oh, we've got a caution on the racetrack.
There's Kim, just about to lose her mind. You can see she's breathing hard, waiting for them. There's Jeff. Look at that up in our NBC booth. Watching.
If you don't think racing's a family affair, just take a look at that shot right there.
Oh. Poor Kim, we've watched her over the years agonize over watching her husband Jeff like that in the race car, and now she's doing it with her son Harrison. And Jeff, calm, cool, and collected up in the booth. Sure agonizing on the inside.
For sure, and both of them have put so much into young Harrison Burton's career, following him all over the country to different racetracks, supporting him and doing the best they can to give him the best opportunity.
Derek?
Ralph, Marty Lindley's the crew chief for the number 12 of Harrison Burton, and we've only got a handful of laps left. And how stressed out are you guys?
It's nerve-wracking, but, everybody at Dex and, this whole crew's done a great job. We just got to finish this thing off. We got control of the restart. We just got to have a perfect restart and bring it home.
We've seen a lot of guys losing tires out there. Is that one of your biggest concerns?
Well, sure. I mean, there's so many crashes and so much debris on the racetrack, and running over anything will cause a flat. So, just got 2 more laps to go here to finish it off.
It's going to be a barn burner right to the end, guys.
Yeah, it's going to be a green-white checkered. That war wagon's not that wide, but Kim has marched every step of it today, hasn't she, back and forth?
I think she's wore a path in it there for sure.
So they're going to need a new one for 2018. Now, the thing is, remember, Harrison only has to be 4th or better to win the championship. He comes into the day with 4 wins and 11 top 5s. No second-place finishes, 2/3, 4/4, a 5th, and a 6th in the 13 races run so far this year.
Sounds like a championship season to me, Ralph. But, what's interesting here is he's chosen the outside, and we have not seen the outside be able to get great restarts throughout this race. It's normally been the inside lane that's been the predominant one on the restart, so I'll be interested to see if he's able to make that outside lane work.
Well, is it easier somehow in the tire, and they're just trying to play it safe? I don't know. You tell me. What do you think?
Well, as I look at the Truck Series, Xfinity, and Cup Series, the outside lane is the more predominant lane on restarts. Here at Dover, a lot of times as the leader, you're able to just get a little bit smoother run off of turn 4, coming to the green and get the power down easier. But throughout this race, we haven't seen these K&N East cars be able to do that, so I'll be interested to see if this works out for him.
Chase Cabry was the reason for the caution, and now he come back to the green, ready to finish off the 2017 season. Here we go. 4th or better is all he needs. Harrison Burton leads him to the green.
You got a bit of a push from Tyler Dipple, and he's able to clear them down into turn 1. And now just focus forward in that 12 car. Come get you a championship, Harrison Burton.
Hit your marks. And you heard Marty Lindley talk about it. There's a lot of stuff out on the racetrack from all the incidents today. You're just keeping your fingers crossed you don't find any of that as a white flag is unfurled in front of him.
Saw a couple cars get together there off of turn 4. All clear. Just 2 more sets of corners, Ralph.
Victory number 5 of the 2017 season will come at Dover for Harrison Burton. But the big payday today is the 2017 NASCAR K&N Pro Series East Championship, which goes to Harrison Burton. Mom Kim, Dad Jeff celebrating as their son is a NASCAR champion here today at the Monster Mile.
What a great moment. What a great shot. And congratulations to the Burton family. That was a real family effort this whole season.
We'll be right back to talk to the newly crowned champ. K&N Pro Series Racing on NBCSN is brought to you by K&N High Flow Air Filters and Air Intake Systems, because everyone loves that fast car smell. Back here at Dover, and the new champ is about to crawl out of the car after taking the checkers at the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation 125. As he comes out of the car, let's head down to Derek.
Ladies and gentlemen, here he comes.
Harrison Burton, your champion of the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East. 5 wins this year. 5 wins this year, the championship, and it comes down to a last race battle. Describe what you're feeling right now.
A lot of emotions. I thought we were out of it after New Jersey a little bit, but never quit on these guys and never quit on myself. And we caught a bit of a break with the 16, but we still had to take advantage of it. And actually had to finish top 3 to win the championship, even though he got into a crash. So you know what? It was a hard battle, and I'm kind of speechless. I remember being at the banquet last year after a pretty bad season and saying I want to win this championship, and that's why I made the decision to come back and run again, is for this moment right here, and it's totally worth it. I can tell you that much.
Then that was going to be my next question. Last year you were and also ran, no top 5s practically, not even a threat to win. This year you come out, you're a threat to win every week, 5 wins and the title. What was the big difference?
I guess just confidence and experience, and this is the hardest sport in the world, and it's I'm kind of speechless. That's pretty rare that I'm speechless, but right now it's one of those moments. I can't really tell you what the difference is. It's probably has to do with all these guys lined up behind me. They're the best in the business.
Ralph Parker, I'd like to introduce you to this year's champion.
I'm sure there's going to be some bigger, he picked something off. Look at that. And here's the final results of the race today. How about Ruben Garcia dropped all the way to 10th, Parker? Tire issues, you think?
Yeah, look at Eddie McDonald coming all the way to finish 2nd. What an impressive drive by the veteran Eddie McDonald.
Well, let's hear from Eddie. Derek has found him down there as well.
Well, it's a bittersweet ending to the 2017 season here at the Dover International Speedway. Eddie McDonald comes home in 2nd in what might well be his very last race in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series. And is it a way to go out, or is it just unfortunate for you? Is that bittersweet feeling there?
Yeah, it's definitely bittersweet. We really wanted to get a win here. Can't thank Rob Grimm enough for, sticking with me for all these years and giving us fast cars and rolling the whole crew. Just got to thank Grimm Construction for, a long time in the K&N series, and that was a heck of a race out there. We ended up starting a lap down early on, and we were able to come back through, and things got a little crazy there in the last lap, and we were able to benefit and come out 2nd. So just an awesome race for us here. Would have loved to have got the win, but congratulations to Harrison Burton on the win and the championship. That was awesome.
You've been one of the veterans of the NASCAR K&N Pro Series for so many years, won some races, and now moving on. What's next for Eddie McDonald? I
don't know. We're going to, definitely do a lot of super late models and late model racing, and try to just do as much racing as we can and try to get some wins.
Well, anywhere he goes, Eddie McDonald proves he's competitive.
Great way to close out a NASCAR K&N career for Eddie McDonald. Well, they came in separated by 8. They will leave separated by 8, but they flip-flop positions. Harrison Burton wins the title. Todd Gilliland finishes 2nd in the championship standings. Chase Purdy, the rookie, will finish 4th, with Ronnie Bassett Jr. finishing 3rd. Well, there's NASCAR President Mike Helton handing over that championship trophy to Harrison Burton. Big day for that young man, and a bright, bright future in NASCAR for Harrison Burton.
Big day and a fittingly big trophy there as well, Ralph.
Well, our next show will be the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tours. They get close to wrapping up their championship, headed to Stafford Springs, Connecticut. You'll see that race coming your way here on NBCSN Saturday, October 7th, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Well, this one's wrapped up. The NASCAR K&N Pro Series East title goes to the Burtons. It's Jeff Burton's son, Harrison, winning the championship. For Derek Perniciglio and Parker Kligerman, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long from Dover. Congratulations to our race winner, the newly crowned 2017 champ, Harrison Burton.